Alright, Wood War number 3. This time against Undo, who is one of the best guys in the community. I always have so much fun with Undo, and I like him. I like him a lot. I actually, the first game I played against him was in CCL, and he immediately after that game came and joined the league. I'm going to warn you right from the start, this game was not particularly serious, but it was particularly hilarious, so we have that at least. And Undo is playing the Dark Elves, and he's playing a piece called Vodka, this piece, who was killed by a character named after me in one of our other coaches' teams. So that's the image you can see actually in the thumbnail for this game. The Dark Elves aren't singing because, you know, moody. And the humans are singing "We Are the Champions" because, you know, they're narcissists and all. Every Wood League is actually based on a team that I will eventually play in the Steel League, which I haven't actually mentioned before, I think. So each of the pieces, even though the team name is different, each of the pieces will be named after the main pieces I will play in Steel itself. And some of the Wood teams are actually past Steel teams as well. Coin flip went to the Dark Elves, and they chose to kick to me. And there are 2 goals for this game, I'll tell you right now. My 2 goals are to kill Vodka and to score with the Ogre. And Undo's goal is basically to help with the entertainment. So this was really just a silly match, to be honest. It wasn't serious at all. Undo is actually a very good coach. He's one of the best in the league. But we're quite good friends, so we just had a bit of fun this game. Because we want to give entertainment more than fantastic gameplay. Alright, setup took a while. I wasn't really sure how to set up. And kick from Vodka. Nice weather, that's a good start. And the same kick that always seems to happen in these games, the kick lands on the touch line. I am going to leave the ball alone for now and block up this Dark Elf. The first turn was a little bit serious, but after that it got a bit silly. And I'm going to block off this Dark Elf. So his 2 blitzers are locked up by my 4 blitzers. He does have another blitzer in the middle though. Then secure the ball with the catches, so I can eventually pass to the Ogre. You heard me right, yes, pass to the Ogre. And the Ogre takes his first punch at Hopeless One. Could have gone for the middle guy, but because he was hopeless, I decided to punch him first. And get a bit of a smack from Barbarian. He just gets a push. Barbarian is the dirty player piece. He always does the fouling, though there wasn't any fouling in this match. It wasn't necessary. And Shield Bearer also gets a push. Warrior comes in to pick up the ball, and he is successful. That's a pretty good start. If we were playing serious, I would be happy with that opening, though it's going to get silly before the end. Undo, his name is Blashreek up at the top, but he's more commonly known as Undo in the community, so I will be calling him Undo every time he's part of a video. Undo's job basically is to surf as many pieces as possible with the Witch Elf and the help of the other Dark Elf friends, which is one of his strengths actually. He's very good at surfing pieces. And he's also very good at KOing blitzers apparently, so there's the first blitzer down. Bye bye hammer. He stood by the Ogre and then dodged out. It was a mistake, obviously, but he managed to fix it. Nothing quite like taking those pointless dodge dice. And with that, another blitzer down. Securing the line so the Ogre can run right up the middle, eventually. though I think the two of us are still pretty serious at this point. We're not playing too silly. I did tell him at the very start of the match, though, those were my 2 goals, and he was happy that they were the 2 goals of the game. We also had Ook sitting in and listening to us as well, which was nice. So the 3 of us could have a chat, and the 3 of us play each other relatively often. Anyway. Move the catcher right round the flank so I can get the ball as far away from these pieces as possible. And the first pass of the game is coming now. There's the first SPP. And the double block is fine for both pieces, I guess. It doesn't really change the game at all. And the half die on Vodka, because like I said, it's one of my missions to kill her. And with block, it's not such a bad roll, to be honest. It also stops him from being easily surfed. Barbarian takes a kick to the face, but he'll be alright. And Veteran 2 is put into the middle. He actually gave up on the surf option completely there. Or he's going to surf the lineman, actually. Yes, of course. The lineman's going to get surfed instead. And needs to reroll to make that a success. And reroll he does. Here comes first surf. It's successful. With Spineless One. If he doesn't get a niggle, I don't know what's going on. That's another KO. Not so bad. Excuse me. Could be much worse than just a KO. Perfect place for a foul, but he doesn't have a fouling piece available, so he moves towards the ball. One option was simply just to run up and score, to be honest, but we weren't playing by those rules today. Blitz's Armor, brought to you by the Blood Bowl Armorers. Alright, turn number 3, that frees up Mr. Ogre, who can now run into a position where he can receive the ball and get into scoring position, which he will do just now. Blitz is super successful, Hopeless One goes flying, and Hopeless One goes dying. Good night, my friend. No Apothecary, Hopeless One is very much dead. Ah well. And the Ogre's into a very good receiving position there. Will send his friends up to support after hitting this blitzer. Punch on the blitz is good, so the catcher can also come in as support for the Ogre. Now I just have to get the ball to him by dodging out this piece. And second pass of the game is coming up. Okay. Pass is bad. Reroll. Pass is bad. And that's one of the best scatters I've ever had from an inaccurate. That's just amazing. Wow. Well done, Wedge. You did your job perfectly. In terms of providing entertainment, that's where these guys do so well. Oh, I forgot to mention, damn it. The first match that Undo and I ever played was Dark Elves against Humans, so we actually did a mirror of that match. Yeah, our CCL game was that setup, so we decided to go for a rematch here, as it's the first video I'm doing with Undo. Undo is regularly a Dark Elf coach. He almost exclusively plays Dark Elves. He is an Edge coach for the most part as well. I just want to appreciate for a second that scatter that's landed on my guy and then right into the hands of the blitzer, who's in the perfect place to receive the ball. Undo plays almost always plays Dark Elves, but I have seen him playing a couple of other teams, though Necromantic is one of his favorites as well, I think. Which is a hybrid, not an Edge team, but still. that's the first bonehead. So, bonehead stays right in the middle. I'm going to try and get the ball next turn, and the half die leads to a skull followed by a skull, and Barbarian hits the dust, meaning the ball can get out easily. If Undo was playing seriously, he would set up a scoring position from here, certainly. That was the perfect role for him, and it's pretty easy to put down these 3 pieces. But he's not playing serious, we're playing a silly game, and that will show in just a second. He does take the blocks, of course, because why wouldn't you? The first one isn't so good, and he didn't follow up for some reason. I think that was a mistake. Though he's going to have a chance at killing one of the catchers. And this face, whenever I give a human this face, he always dies within the first couple of games for some reason. I should really stop doing it. But he's not dead yet, so no worry so far. And the witch comes in for support as well. One last punch. 2 down, which is good. He can block and dodge out nice and simply. Yep, runs into space. Perfect place for a score. Pretty hard for me to stop him, but I will do my best with these 2 blitzers. I had to roll a lot of dice to pull this off, but I did roll them. And that's double GFI and double GFI to get 2 apiece. And a dodge. Forgot about the dodge. I did have a reroll. Didn't need it at this point. And then I push my luck because I can get to the ball, and thrower tries to get through this gap. He fails the first dodge. Try to reroll. And he fails the second dodge. And I didn't need to pick up the ball anyway because Ogre has boneheaded, and as we learned from the lizard match, you can't give a ball to a bonehead. Undo picks up the ball without any real issue and runs it into a slightly safer place. And the third pass of the game, goes to the Witch Elf, who blitzes her way out of trouble and has a standoff against the Ogre and begs him to come and kill her. Honestly, I think that he thought he was going to be safe from this play. It was kind of a taunt just for the camera, but it was a silly one, and it didn't really pay off in the way that he would like, I think. Though it did cement the silly factor in the game for certain. Yeah, he's done his best to defend this piece, actually. And push from the blitzer means that all my pieces are still standing. I don't think he realized I could get 2 pieces on the witch, actually. One piece and the ogre. So the 1 piece managed to push off the blitzer, 2nd piece comes in as support against the witch. And Mr. Bonehead doesn't bonehead this time, and comes and blitzes the witch. But she's fine, and the ball drops in a place that's quite good for the Dark Elves, actually. I do dodge the catcher out, though. He's going to do his best to pick up the ball. But he fails the GFI, and the ball bounces out of the way. I still have 2 turns to get the ogre up there. It's possible. I think each half has 13 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Each half has 13 squares, so movement 5 is possible from this position. I have to GFI twice, I think. Yeah, 12 spaces to go. No, 11 places to go. I'm on place 12, so GFI once. Unless I have to blitz. The witch takes a punch on the blitzer. Shame she didn't try the ogre. Could have pushed the ogre further up the field if she got an unsuccessful dice. And she runs to safety and into scoring position. Yeah, into scoring position. It's going to be pretty difficult for me to stop her now. I offered the half die on the ogre, but Undo unfortunately didn't take it. So, Ogre's going to take his place as potential scorer and stand on the face of the Dark Elf. Well, the neck of the Dark Elf. It's where he likes to stand. I managed to GFI onto the Witch, and I even managed to get a Blitz in. With a GFI again. Nope, I failed a GFI. Okay, forgot that. Yeah, it was 2 GFIs, I failed the second one. All he needs to do is push this piece off and run Witch Elf into the line, and that's 1-0. There's a block, and Witch Elf runs in the opposite direction. She turns tail. She's a traitor. She tries to pass to the ogre, which fails. Second pass is a success. Can the ogre catch it? No, he can't. With 1 turn to go, though, all the ogre has to do is pick up double GFI. It's not much of a job for a big guy. Doesn't bonehead. Doesn't pick up. Pickup is 4+ on an ogre, if you were wondering. As is a catch. His agility 2. And the elves have squandered their last chance to score because Nameless One is exactly 1 space away from the touchdown line. So they're going to do their best to punch out the ogre. That's a GFI that's successful, and the witch goes toe-to-toe with the big guy. That's a very good block. And ogre goes good night. Vanity Pass is the only play he has left, and he is going to take that play if possible. Pickup is good. Handoff, or pass, sorry, it was a pass, is is accidentally good. The pass itself failed, but it fumbled directly into the witch's hand. That was a juggle pass. Very nice. 0-0 at halftime. Really shouldn't be, but it is 0-0 at halftime. It should be 1-0 either from me scoring with the catcher or from the Dark Elf scoring. 1 Dark Elf is dead and out, 1 Dark Elf KO returns, and my 2 KOs, 1 comes back and it's the Blitzer. Lineman stays sleeping for a little while in the nice weather. We get a nice glimpse of some human and Dark Elf arses as they come back onto the pitch. And I set up in a more serious way, though I'm not receiving, so it's just as a defensive way. And Undo also sets up in a semi-serious way. We're going to start this half playing a bit more seriously. Emphasis on a bit. So we've got a heavy bash set up for the Dark Elves. They're going to try and do some damage to the lineman. Though he went very softly on the ogre because he knew that I was trying to score with the ogre and he was willing to oblige that silliness. Quick snap means that he can set up even easier to get solid 2 dies on each piece and also have some pieces left over at the end. Alright, first block against Barbarian. It's a good one. And Barbarian goes flying. Second's just a push. But The power is much better, and I've got a lineman lost in no man's land. I don't know if this was an oversight or intentional, but he left his witch wide open with the way that he eventually set up. So he left the witch within range of these two pieces, and he moved everything else out of the way. Slowly does it. He moved every piece out of the way to try and get a decent block on the ogre. Now, if it was intentional, then fine, I understand. If not, then, well, that's a mistake you may want to consider undoing. And the double down leads to the ogre being knocked out, so his chances of picking up the ball are a little bit slimmer. And I'm going to try and take the ball from him here. The only person who's scoring this game, though, from the humans is the ogre. I'm not going to let anybody else score. Even though part of me wants to play the second half in a more serious way, it just didn't have it in me to do so. I take a 2 down on vodka. And the first mission is complete. Vodka is no more. Good night, you sweet, sweet spirit. I don't re-roll the catch. Pretty easy for him to pick up the ball, but no need to re-roll the catch. In the match between Fallen Glory and Undo, where Vodka was killed by the piece with my namesake, the Apo saved her, but there's no Apo this time. She really is dead in this game. No, this isn't the competitive Vodka, so no big deal. And linemen continue to leave the line and go lie down in the KO box. If Undo wants to get anything out of this game, now is a good time to try and score. I do have these free pieces in reserve, of course, but even with these free pieces, it's pretty hard for me to slow him down, as he is an elf team. He takes a 1 die on a blitzer. That's brave, but is successful. And I think he wanted to actually surf there, but he forgot that he'd already taken his blitz. So he locks off the pieces that are left. And I move to come and slow down the ball if possible. I actually made a screen here to make it slower, to make it harder for him to get through. Playing somewhat seriously now. That's a decent blitz. And we can move Ogre onto the ball. It's where he wants to be. Push isn't really good enough there. I did want this piece to finish off the screen, but that's not going to happen. So the elves still have a gap if they do wish to use it. And the red die was good enough to get me away from the line. Last lineman is stunned. The armor continues to impress on the human team. Well, and on the Dark Elf team with the 2 deaths. So Blood Bowl armors have definitely been working for these 2 teams. And Veteran takes an armor break as well. That's another stun. Out of all the friendly matches, I think this has been the least friendly so far. And he takes the ball to the upper end of the pitch. I don't know if he's playing Silly Billy again, or if he's just trying to give himself some room. Maybe he's giving himself some room, to be fair. This is a valid play, especially if I follow up, which I do here. Though I do also lock up the piece that is going to be the intended receiver. Ogre Boneheads, he was going to go up here, I think, somewhere. And I do try and reroll, but the loner comes. Oh, he's blitzing actually. No, he was going to blitz the blitzer here. Blitz the blitzer. Fun sentence. I kind of half screen off as well, trying to slow down the advance, though a Dark Elf score is inevitable if he does want to make it happen. Pass, handoff, dodge, score. That's all he needs to do. Even better, blitz first, then he doesn't even have to dodge. Push is good enough. Potentially leads to an intercept, but otherwise it's good enough. I guess handoff here. Yep. Pass here. Which works, and the catch as well. And 1 GFI to score a touchdown. And he does take it. And he does succeed. Good job, Undo. That's 1-0 to worst Delph team, Redivius. There's still the 2 dead. And my 2 knocked out players, my 2 linemen do come back. So we're 11 against 9 in the final drive of this game. We have a nice gap-toothed elf grin. Very happy with that. I put the ogre on the line because the ogre is, of course, the scoring threat this whole match. People often complain that 50% catch is not good enough, but you'd be surprised how successful it actually can be. The biggest problem with the big guys, of course, is their ability to bonehead wild animal, etc. That's always the problem. That's a good opening blitz with an arm break again. Dark Elf goes down and stays down. Try and make a half screen, not a half screen. Oh no, I don't actually. I'm just blocking off the piece again so the ogre can run up unmolested. I do take a blitz and I have to reroll because I want to move the ball. And I want to move the ogre for that matter. And that's another stun. It seems to be a pattern. If you reroll a piece, then they're more likely to break armor for some reason. Of course, that's not how it works, but it is how it seems to work. Bringing every piece in support, putting the whole team on this side of the pitch, so they can all come and cheer on the ogre as he runs up the line and gets his touchdown. So, picking up the ball. Oh no, it failed, and sure hands didn't help. That gives me 1 less turn to get the ogre up there. 4 turns is plenty though. Next turn I'm definitely going to move the ogre before I pass though, before I attempt to pass. So blocks are slightly less successful now, though we're not doing too much damage. And pieces are put into a position to make it harder for me to get the ball up to the ogre. And he also brings in a Dark Elf to secure the half cage. I bring in the Blitzer to complete the half cage and to get rid of this awkward piece. Unfortunately, it's just a 2 down, but I do get a stun out of it, so that's not so bad. Next ogre is going to move into position, maybe? No. First, okay, I'm going to put a piece on the ogre. I'm not sure if that's how Bonehead works, but that's how really stupid works, so I assume it works on a similar system. Here we go for the ball again. This time it works, and we run into a position that makes an easy pass here, but I want to pass it to this piece. And that's a failed GFI. Gonna have to reroll that. which I do. That makes the pass harder, but certainly not impossible. And it is successful. That's a good pass. That's 2 SPP for Warrior. And the handoff to the Ogre. Will it work? No, don't go off the pitch. Oh, it does, and the ball goes into an awful spot. Probably the worst direction it could have gone. Dark Elves are going to try and surf the Ogre because that's way too tempting not to try. Even though the whole game he has been enabling my attempts at getting the Ogre off the pitch. Not this time. Here we go. That's nice, 2 skulls. And re-roll into 2 skulls. Catcher goes down and Flank is dead. Oh no, Flank. He's always the key player in this team and now he's a dead man. It's going to be a few games before I can bring him back probably. And it's not even the one with a bad face. Well, the times are changing. Just a simple pickup for the Dark Elves now. It's successful. Could even pass if he wants to. No, doesn't. Just puts his piece into danger for some reason. The Ogre's going to continue his way up to the line because I am determined to get the score. And he's just 3 spots away now. So long as he doesn't bonehead, he should be fine. He may even have a couple of attempts at the catch if I'm particularly lucky. Well, if I'm particularly lucky, it will take 1 attempt. Push wasn't really good enough. I do want Flank to come through here, though I think I screw up my positioning as it goes along. Yeah, he still has to dodge through there, and he has to dodge through there, so... yeah, I remember that. That wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't actually mean to do the dodge, but I got away with it. And I moved the thrower in the way of Flank's route. He can come around this way, actually. He fails the dodge anyway, so not a problem. That's good for the Dark Elves. They are going to try and secure a 2-0 win now. Or at least half try. I don't think he tried too hard to be fair, but he half tried to secure a 2-0 win. Following this play. He left the Ogre completely unmolested because, I don't know why, but he was really, really intrigued by the idea of an Ogre scoring. He passes to the one piece that can run well out of range, putting the Ogre's hopes and dreams away, but he doesn't. He keeps it in range. And I'm sure he did that on purpose. It wouldn't have been... he wouldn't have made that mistake. We're just playing up for the camera in this game, I think. He doesn't follow up, though. He does make it at least a little bit hard for me to get to the ball. Though, guaranteed, he didn't do that by accident. And the Ogre runs into his scoring position. He's got 2 turns to catch. And my failed dodge means that he will only have 1 turn or no turns to catch the ball. What a shame. And Undo puts my dreams to rest by knocking out the lineman, and just needs to run this into the touchdown zone, and we're through. He's going to take a couple of blitzes though. He's taking a few risks to try and give me a chance to score, I guess. And here we go. Where are we going? Oh no! Oh, he's going to actually make a pass. Hands off to the lineman, which fails. Oh no. Reroll is good though. And he brings the lineman up for another pass to the Ogre. We have a second traitor amongst the Dark Elf ranks. And the pass is good again. The catch is not again. It goes off the pitch, and into the worst possible place it can go. Not the worst possible place, actually. I have a blitzer here. He's the one chance to pick up the ball and finally get the ball to the Ogre's hands. Can he do it? Pickup is good. Here comes the pass. And the pass fumbles. That's the end of the game. 1-0 to Undo and his Dark Elves. Well played, my friend. That match was hilarious. It was so much fun, and it was nice having Jakob there to laugh along with us as well. There were many times where all three of us just burst out laughing in that match. And Hopeless One, very aptly named, got the MVP as a dead Dark Elf. And Blitzer Anvil got MVP on the human side. We also got 2 for the thrower, 2 for 2 of the Langards. I guess that Undo is going to fire this, is going to sack this team because he lost 2 pieces, including the Witch. I really doubt he's going to continue with them. But if he does, I think Able One was actually Careless One, Able One, Apologetic One, and Incredible One. Incredible One was definitely a Blitzer, but the other 3 I think were linemen. So all the SPP went to the linemen. Alright, thanks for watching. There'll be more Wood Wars coming soon. I'm getting through all of the coaches one at a time. There are about 40 of them though, so I really doubt I'll manage every one of them, but I'm trying the ones that I've played the most and the ones that I have the best relationship with at least. Thanks for watching. I'm going to close this off now. See you soon, and may Nuffle smile on you. Bye bye.